Greetings duelists, and welcome to another video. So we're back to talking about Dragunity. This is my favorite deck of all time, and one last new support card got revealed for them. Before I talk about that new card, I want to talk about the new cards that we've gotten already, and like my overall thoughts. These 4 cards do a good amount for the deck, but it doesn't solve everything that the deck needs. Queerness is a 1-card starter, which is something the deck didn't originally have, outside of just funneling Dragon Ravine and using a bunch of discards, but at that point it's not really 1 card because you're using like 3 cards to do that. Falchion is a really cool extender that can just funnel out other Dragunity names to use for equipping, and it kind of gives use to the older Dragunities like Kuz and Phalanx. Arius is a really cool monster. I don't think it's gonna be used like as an M-board piece. I think it's more like inclined to be a breaker. I don't think this is the best synchro. Like Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon requires the same materials as this, and it will most likely eclipse this card. And Georgius is just phenomenal. Georgius is what, like, if you ever needed to summon a Link 4 in this particular archetype, this probably would be it. And more importantly, if you use Lewin, which is like our level 6 Dragunity Synchro, now Lewin can bridge into this, because Lewin can equip to Georgius, which gives it the Dweller effect for your opponent. That Dweller effect is really strong. Like, right now, 2 of the best decks are Mitsurugi Yami and Draco Tail. Both decks are kind of out of lose to this card. If this card gets summoned and it's uninterrupted. So, let's talk about the last new card. So, the last new card is a field spell. It is called Dragunity Divine Wind. I don't know what this monster is. Actually, I do know what the monster is. That monster is, I think, is Arius. Actually, I don't recognize this monster like on the bottom half. It looks like it's Evil Swarm Bahamut. I think that's Evil Swarm Bahamut. Which kind of hints that we might get L-Swarm support in the future. But yeah, this is Arius on the top, and this is Bahamut in the bottom. So, Dragunity Divine reads, during your main phase, you can apply one of these effects, or if you have Dragon's Ravine in your graveyard, apply both in sequence. First effect, add 1 dragon or winged beast monster from your graveyard to your hand. Second effect, special summon 1 Dragunity monster from your hand, then equip 1 Dragunity monster from your deck to it. 1 dragon Dragunity, to be more specific. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, not the best card I would have thought. This card does not solve every problem for the deck. However, there are a lot of really cool applications behind this card, and it kind of does give us a few more options than the limited cards that we already had beforehand. Let's talk about the first effect first. So, just grabbing any dragon from or winged beast from your graveyard, like to your hand, is really cool. You can grab Bestials, you can grab DD Crow if you already used it against your opponent. You can grab Phantasme, which is really cool. Tenpai Dragon Genroku does get its effect if you grab it with Divine Wind, so it kind of becomes an extender in that sense. And this is not just the cards that you should be grabbing with Divine Wind. Like, this card gets both of its effects if Ravine is in your graveyard. So this inclines you that you can just dump any dragon with Ravine and then use Divine Wind to grab that dragon. So it's essentially like an indirect Rhoda for dragons, if you think about it that way. And Dragon's Ravine is so easily accessible in this deck that it shouldn't be that hard to get that effect. Now, the second effect. The second effect for me is the best effect. Just special summoning a Dragunity from your hand and just like equipping somebody else is really, really strong. This makes this card a really powerful extender if you open any Dragunity. Like, imagine if you open this plus like Queerness. You can go this, summon Queerness, equip the Falchion to the Queerness, and now the Queerness doesn't have to add Divine Lance. Now Queerness can add us something like Dragunity Glow, or like the Dragunity Whirlwind, or like other Dragunity cards that not necessarily had to be the Divine Lance. Queerness was already good in the sense that it could grab Divine Lance and Divine Lance equipped to Falchion, but with Divine Wind, we don't need to grab Divine Lance anymore. Same thing with Mezzaltin and same thing with Legatus. Like, all these cards are just really strong on the Divine Wind. It also makes it so you can grab other things with Romulus as well, or you can grab this with Romulus after you already exhausted Dragon's Ravine. And this is just showing you other cards that you can summon. Like, you can even summon Remus to equip. You can even summon Graham and equip. Like, imagine summoning Remus, equipping a Phalanx. You link those two away to Romulus. Because you control a Dragunity monster, you can come back from the graveyard. Like, that's already 3 bodies. Like, 1 more body needed for Georgius. And the Remus is already the tuner. So you're pretty much set for Georgius. Like, if you open just like this alongside this card. I mean, you essentially will grab Ravine with this and then use this card, but I digress. But yeah. So after seeing this support, what are my overall thoughts? I think Dragunity does have an identity crisis. I do think this is not going to be optimal as the pure deck. There are some things that are missing from this deck that we could have gotten. For starters, we have no way to recover our banished Dragunity cards. The most common version of Dragunity was the Dragon Ruler version, and that one banishes a lot of cards. To this day, I don't think we have enough ways to grab banished dragons back as a resource. Like, there's Lubellion if you play branded. There's like Fusion Lubellion rather. There are some of the Dragon Rulers that can, like, for example, the black one. Before I show you like what my opinion is on how the best version of Dragunity is, I want to give a shout out. Shout out to Crafty Mind Gaming. He is a Dragunity expert. If you are looking into knowing how to play this deck, he is probably the best person to go to. He is currently live right now, like testing out combos as we speak. That being said, let's go straight to the next play in hand. So, this is a freestyle combo. This is not a real combo. This is just showing you what Queerness can do, like, thanks to Divine Wind. Since we do already have a Dragunity in hand, we can use Divine Wind. Divine Wind summon the Legatus. The Legatus is we're going to equip Phalanx to the Legatus. And if you've played old school Dragunity before, you already know about the Varirajana combo. And I gotta let this play out. Yeah. It's sad to know that Dragunity cannot function properly as its own deck. I mean, you could play as its own deck, but there are so many good dragon cards that you can just play alongside the Dragunity cards that just makes it so you're gonna always play Dragunity cards with other dragon decks. Like, the one bright side to all of this is there are so many good dragon cards that you can pretty much the combos are kind of limitless, or the amount of creativity with the deck is kind of limitless. Like, again, this is not a real combo. This is why I'm not explaining the combo like over here. One cool thing is that the Genroku will be treated as a tuner when it's summoned, so this can make Gorgias. As you can see, there are Dragon Maid cards, there are Armed Dragon cards, there are Bestial cards, like you can play Samsara Dragon, you can even play Draco Tails if you want to, like you can play like Heretics, like with so many dragon hybrids that exist out there, like there's a lot of really cool things you can do to play Dragunity as its own deck. But yeah, again, this is my favorite archetype of all time. Just the amount of creativity and the amount of flexibility with dragons that you can make for this deck is kind of absurd. Like, this is not even the best end board you can make. You can make way better end boards than this. You can play other cards besides this. The one weakness I will say is I think the best way to play Dragunity is as a combo pile. I don't think you are going to fit hand traps. You can fit breakers, maybe a few of them. Like some stuff like Forbidden Droplets would be a good one. But I think this is a very engine heavy deck. You kind of need like as many of your engine cards to just play the game. And no, I don't think we're still at a point in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where a deck can just play well into like any opponent with just their engine. Maybe we will get there someday. Who knows? Maybe this will be the one deck that could actually do it. Maybe a lot of skillful games can happen just because of playing like a lot of different skill checks with your engines. Like Tenpai Dragons are really, really strong as a going second strategy. So is Dragon Ruler. The Armed Dragons can be really good if you go second. However, like if you're playing Dragon Maid cards, you're gonna do better with them if you go first. If you're using Dragunity cards, you're going to do way better with your Dragunity cards if you go first. So it's pretty much a balancing act on how you're going to perform with your strategy. But yeah, overall, I do think Dragunity will see play in the future. I won't say whether or not it's going to be like a meta contending deck. So far, when it comes to Terminal Worlds history, we've had 50-50s. Like, we've had flop archetypes that didn't do anything, like Fabled and Necros and Infernoids, while we had a few home runs like Ritual Beast and Gem Knight. And to some extent, like Ice Barrier, but that was with Sprite. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. I will say this deck is extremely fun to play. Like, just being able to combo off like this is really, really cool. And you will definitely see me play this deck like at some point in the future. Until then, keep practicing and keep dueling.